This video is sponsored by EA Game Changers program. Those guys were awesome enough to send me a key for the Battlefield 5 Alpha, so props to them. This is a sponsored video, and if you guys do want to check out the program, I believe it has gone public, or at the very least, it is allowing for the public to apply for it, so definitely do check that out. All right, so into the actual commentary here. Guys, I hope you do enjoy what's happening in the background. I don't even know what it is yet. Might even be recycled footage because I think I'm doing 5 videos, which, by the way, for somebody like myself to do 5 videos, that is freaking insane. I haven't done 5 videos in like a span of, I don't know, like 2 years. It's been a while. So anyways, we're going to talk about gameplay, guns, and health and ammo system. Now, this is not a be-all, end-all list here. This is just kind of what I thought were pointed out were some of the goods and the bads, and it's just all kind of jumbled up in there in a nice little ball of feedback. So first of all, let's talk about some of the gameplay. So I would personally like to have this coming back. Overall gameplay was good. I want to preface this right now. Gameplay is good. Right now, I feel like the Battlefield 1 Alpha is solid. It's in a better place than what Battlefield 1 is at Battlefield 1's current state, in my opinion, in terms of how much fun it is, in terms of how much teamwork it requires, and in terms of just how much skill the gunplay actually takes. It feels like a more complete Battlefield game than what Battlefield 1 does. So, on to my first thing. So, the first thing that I would like to have coming back for gameplay, and this is something they got rid of in Battlefield 1, is the ability to equip my nade. So, right now, when you throw a grenade, you only have the option to quick throw. So you hit a button and it goes through the animation of it pulling off your chest or off your belt and throwing the grenade. You can't actually equip the nade like you could in Battlefield 3 or 4, run with it out, and then hit your fire button to then throw the nade. So I would really like to have that back. To me, having that control is definitely something that is worthwhile. I feel like I'm going to be able to have a lot more nade spots that I could actually connect with. I feel like I have more control over where the nade is going to go than just hitting a button and watching it go through its animation. I just don't like it right now the way it is. So I hope that they bring it back or have both options. I don't know if Battlefield 4 did this, but I don't see why we can't have both options. Just have a quick throw button and then have an equip button. It's got to be simple, guys. Come on. Drunks, talking to you. Make it happen, buddy. Make it happen. I would like to see the screen shake being toned down a lot. So, yes, explosive spam is definitely reduced. Props to DICE for doing that, although we don't have all of the grenades that are going to be in. So right now, support only had access to the incendiaries. Medic didn't even have access to any lethal grenades. It was just smoke. And I really don't even know what recon. I don't think I use the nades on the recon all that often, but it was definitely reduced nade spam, which is great. I love that fact. But when it does screen shake, good lord, it screen shakes. Just let me tone it down, guys. Come on, just let me tone it down, bring it in just a little bit more, and we're pretty good. We'll be good. Smokes are really bad. So this is something that Battlefield has had a trouble with forever, and I mentioned this in an earlier video, I believe, but Battlefield has never been able to get smokes right. I can remember competing in Battlefield 3. You could see through the smokes, you could spot through the smokes. It was useless for infantry to use as concealment. Well, right now, I believe that if you throw a smoke down on the ground and you sit in it, you can actually see out of it. Now, it's not that I believe, I know, I did it. So you could throw a smoke straight at your feet and you can see out of it. Now, it's hazy, but you can still see out of it. A person looking into it can't see jack squat. It is like, it's just a big black smudge, which is great, except for the fact that now I can shoot him without him knowing that I'm sitting in there. Another problem that I did see with the smoke is the fact that you can sweep your gun across it, and you can get passive spotting in it. I saw this happen several times, so I think that they need to fix that part of it as well. So make the smokes obviously thicker when you're sitting into it. I mean, to the point where you can't see shit when you're sitting in a smoke. I would like to see the areas be a little bit bigger, the area of effect of it, and the duration last just a little bit longer, like 20% longer, I think would definitely be awesome on that one. So I think that right there would be massive just in a lot of those pushes, especially like from D to F, those 2 places. That was That was a pretty brutal push if you had plenty of players that were defending the transition from F to D. The feedback on the medic when he is healing himself with the med pouch needs to be a little bit better. And this is the same thing with the support kit picking up his ammo. So right now, if you are thrown ammo or health by a medic or a support, you have this little animation where you're grabbing a bag and you pull it to your chest. I would really like to see where if you throw an ammo pouch down for yourself, you do the same, but you don't. Sometimes you just pick it up. There's no animation. You just start healing. So I would like to see this more consistent. I would like to see, are we going to have animations for that? Was it just a bug this time? I don't know. Another thing that I didn't like about it was that it felt like there is a delay from when you can pick up your own bags. So I hope that that's communicated in some way to where if you throw a med bag down, you have to wait like 2 seconds in order to pick it up. Because as of now, if you throw a med bag down in front of you and you run over it, you are more than likely not going to pick it up. You actually have to wait, run back, run over it again, and then you can continue on. Now, I don't know if this has to do with the fact of how quickly you took damage to when you're trying to heal, because I also noticed this at a depot when I tried to get health from the depot after I got shot. I wasn't allowed to grab it right away. So I don't know if that's a correlation to it or not, but I do think that that needs to be communicated in some way better than what it is right now. The medic revive is a little bit glitchy on bodies, hills and ledges especially. So where I think it's a desync issue with the server. So where the body is at and I actually go heal him is not actually where the body is at for the other guy. So I actually teleported several times. An example of this, and I don't think I actually had a recording of it, but on B flag, where there's this little like a metal container that's sticking up in between the B and D sections where you can get to the upper and lower levels, there was a guy that showed that he was dead on the ground, and when I went to go revive him, it popped me on top of this metal container that had to have been at least 2-3 meters up in the air. It was a bit jarring. It was definitely strange, and that kind of, I think that needs to be fixed. I don't know if that was a desync issue or what, but that needs to get looked at. Would be nice for the icons above players' heads to be a little bit more visible for getting the squad revives as well as just the revives themselves. It had this like pale blue icon over it. It needs to be much bolder. It needs to be something where, I mean, you're gonna see it. You're gonna know, hey, I got a guy down. I need to go get him. The icon's just like, just beaming you right in the face, right? It needs to be something like that, because there were a lot of times where I completely missed it. I know I pissed off several guys when I was working over there onto C flag, just because there's so much stuff. Like, and this kind of goes back to my environmental video. There's so much stuff on the video or stuff on in the map going on that you just miss it. So I kind of like to see those come out a little bit better. Calling for a revive should be one single click, not a hold. So I think that right now one of the problems that we're seeing is that people, they click once to try and stop the bleeding, but it doesn't happen. They're not holding it down. So get rid of the hold. Just have a click, and then if you want to get off of bleeding, say the medic that you were holding it for dies, just another click again to take you off of that bleed, or off of the bleed slowdown to respawn in faster. I think that would be a lot better situation in that sense. For me personally, the bleeding out is great. I love it. There's no difference in terms of time than what it was in past Battlefields, it feels like to me. The whole Battlefield 1 spawn faster or skip spawn, whatever, you literally had to wait the same amount of time as if you sat there the entire time and waited for a medic to come at you. Like, you didn't save any time whatsoever. And I know people, yeah, but I can go through and I can click on stuff and I can. Okay, how often are you dying over and over as a medic? Okay, or not as a medic, but as a player in Secession and going into your screen to change your settings? Like, if you're changing every single time you die, you got issues, man. You just stick with a kit, bro. That's probably why you're dying so often, because you just don't know how to play. So that was mean, but I mean, it's not as bad as what people are making it out to be. It feels a little bit longer, yes, it does, but ultimately, it's not. It's just not. All right, so that's it for gameplay for now. We're going to be moving on to guns and gunplay. So this is something to where I know they're going to be tweaking a lot of this stuff on. I know they're changing a lot of stuff on, and I do apologize for how long this video is going to go, guys. We might go for a two-parter, I don't know, but we're already up to 10 minutes. But I think that right now the guns are sitting in a pretty decent spot in terms of like damage that they do, time to kill, all that kind of good stuff. I think that there needs to be some tweaks done with recoil and with ADS time. So case in point, the STG, everybody's favorite assault rifle right now because it is beast. It needs to have a little bit of buff, or not buff. Would it be a nerf or would it be a buff? I'm not too sure. It needs to have more vertical recoil. I think that maybe more vertical recoil on either the first or second shot would help it out a lot. Tap fire right now with that gun, and I want tap fire to stay. I don't want it to go anywhere, but it's good. I can outsnipe snipers right now. It's like really, really good. So maybe add more vertical recoil to it. Put a little bit of bullet drop on it. You know, especially when you're going in for those like cross map shots that we were going in for against snipers. And then I would like to see the horizontal recoil on all guns reduced, especially on the LMG class. The LMG class, oh god, it's got problems, and we'll get onto that in another video about why that class just was not used all that often, in my opinion, at least from what I saw in the alpha. But it needs to be toned down. I would like to see the ADS time on the LMGs to be a bit faster. Right now, if you were trying to run and pull up your gun, it's going to take a very long time in order to get that ADS. And even if you're standing still and you pull it up to ADS, it is very slow. You couple that with the horizontal recoil and the slow rate of fire of that LMG. Granted, there are going to be other LMGs out there, I know, but if this is indicative to what we are going to have for LMGs, then it's worrisome. There were a lot of fights that you lost, and why you're saying, well, yeah, you're not supposed to win against every fight. No, but if you cannot win in those type of fights, then you are not going to be using that class, which means that you're not going to be giving out ammo. Less people are going to be playing that class. It's the same problem that we had with medic class. Because the medic class in Battlefield 1 was so frustrating to use with the DMRs, and you were outshot constantly, you couldn't play as an effective medic. Yes, some players still were able to do that. I was able to do that as well, but it wasn't fun. It's not fun to play support like that. It needs to be changed. I think that bullet drop on the all guns actually needs to happen. I think that bullet drop on the snipers especially. Right now, whoo, man, I was watching some gameplay from some guys, and holy crap, were they ripping faces off. I myself don't use the sniper rifle all that often. Every now and then I'll jump in and I'll do some sniping if a guy's pissing me off on an AA cannon all the way out in their own spawn, or if a sniper out there is pinging me a couple of times and kind of ticking me off that way. But for the most part, I don't do sniping. I gave that up a long time ago. But I think it needs to have a little bit more bullet drop in it right now. Same thing with the DMR. The DMR for the medic kit is good, buddy. Is good. You can spam that sucker, and it just has absolutely no fallback whatsoever. It's just really, really good. So add some more recoil to them. Less horizontal, more vertical, I think. And I think it'll be a lot better. A lot better. I hope that in terms of the guns that we are going to be seeing more attachments. I know that they had talked about attachments being used as cosmetics. I hope that they're not just talking about like keychains and foregrips, and I hope sights are involved there, because I would really love to change some of the sights on some of those guns. For me personally, I did not like the DMR whatsoever. Just because the DMR, in my opinion, was very annoying with that scope. I would much rather see it without the scope on there, or put a different optic on there, something a little less scopey. Something like that. So something to where I can have your iron sights on it. It'd be a lot more useful, in my opinion, if they did. So hopefully that attachments are going to be back. We're not going to be seeing a variant system. God, I hated the variant system. It was so bad. I'm so glad BF1 is in the past. Battlefield 5 is in the future. I'm just so ready. So ready. All right. Anything else for guns and gunplay? I think overall that's pretty much it right now for gunplay. It feels tight. It feels good. It's snappy. Right now, the long distance tap fire is back. I do not want to see random bullet spray coming back in. Suppression, I did forget to mention this. Suppression is now a visual, not is visual only as far as I can tell, and it doesn't affect you in a fight, which is oh so good to have. In the past, that suppression really did affect one-on-one gunfights, one-on-two gunfights. Now, with it not being in there, there was a lot of fights that I was able to win because I had the better shot, and I didn't have any random bullet deviation coming out of it because a guy missed me for the first 3, 4, 5 times that he shot at me. So very, very nice to see that in the game. I hope it stays, and I hope that they don't add it in. I've got a feeling that they're probably going to add it in on a specific archetype, but I'm hoping that's not the case. Next, let's go into the ammo and the health system, and then we're going to be wrapping up this video as we are already on 16 minutes. So, health and ammo system. Everybody gets less ammo. Everybody regens, or they don't regen all the way up to 100%. I like this change. I think that the ammo system itself could be bumped up a bit, but right now, with having the regen not all the way, it suits me perfectly as a player who has played in the past Battlefield 3 competitively where we didn't have health regen, and then BF2, 2142, BC2, or not BC2, but BC1, I believe it was, they didn't have health regen in it. So it was really, really nice to get back to that non-health regen, to where you need to make sure that you're around a medic, or you take that chance if you don't heal up of dying really, really fast. Like it just, to me, it was a very welcomed element that had been missing from the game for quite a while. So I'm really happy to see that back in right now. Less ammo. Right now, they're going to be using their attrition system. So everybody gets less ammo. You do have the option to pick up ammo packs from the ground, but it is based on a percentage of how much you get. So right now, I think that, and it's based on percentage for the class that you have. So right now, if you are an assault or a medic class and you're using an SMG or an AR, you get, I believe it's like 8 to 9 bullets back. If you are using the DMR on the medic class, I think you get like 4. I think it's like 4 bullets. I'm not too certain on that one. And if you're using the sniper, you get 1. To be honest with you, I didn't really pay attention to the LMG because he's got ammo. Why do you have to pick it up? Come on. But I think that if they increase that about 30%, with starting out ammo, it'd be a lot better. So right now, on the medic class and the the assault class, which is the 2 classes that I did play the most, you started out with about, 1 mag in the gun and 1 mag in your reserve. So you had 2 mags total. If you're the assault kit, you had about, I think it was 60 rounds, and if you were on the medic kit, you had 64 rounds, I believe it was. So I believe that what they need to do is bump it up 1 more magazine. If you bumped it up 1 more magazine, it would be in that really good spot to where, yes, you still need to go find depots. Yes, you still need to go find assault or an LMGs, not LMGs. Oh my God, support players in order to get your bullets back, or you have to go over bodies in order to get them in that regard. But it still allows you to be that aggressive player, to run around and do as much killing as possible. I think that another thing that would help this out is if they would allow the pickups from dead bodies to be bumped up. Before I said it was a percentage, and you got about 8 or 9 rounds if you were an assault and a medic. So I think if they bump that up to like 15 to 20 rounds per bag that was laying on the ground, it would be much, much better. You would see a lot more aggressive usage out of those particular kits. It'd just be a lot more fun. It'd be a lot less restricted. And I know that some of the devs had mentioned before that they're tweaking things. They're playing with extremes. So they're toning things either way back, or they're increasing them way, way, way far up, and just trying to see where it's gauging out. Obviously, this is an alpha, so things are subject to change. That is one thing that I do hope they change. The last thing in the health and ammo system is I really, really want to see a slower rate in resupplying explosives. It is obnoxious right now how fast you can resupply your rockets. I was trying to support a tank in pushing a flag on F, and good God, Three guys were just, it was an endless supply of rockets that they were able to throw at us, because all you have to do on a depot is run up to it, hit E, and boom, you have like 5 rockets or 4 rockets. It's quite ridiculous. So what I would like to see is the depots changed in such a way to where when you would run up to a depot and you hit E, you would resupply your gun ammo, your bullets, just like you normally are now. You would get them in full restock, whatever, that's fine. But if you wanted to do explosives, you have to run up to the same depot and hit E and push and hold it. And you would have a small animation that would go through to where you would go in, maybe grab out of the box or something, or have a little wheel that pops up like it is with the tank when you're resupplying in that sense. And you can't move, you can't shoot, you can't let off the E button to get fully restocked on your explosives, because right now, I mean, you can shoot all 4 of your rockets, go back to it, resupply, shoot all 4 of your rockets, and just rinse and repeat. And it is really bad right now. And I can imagine on some maps, it's going to be really, really, really noticeable. And then also reduce the amount of explosives, rockets that you have by 2. I don't think you should have any more than 3. When you first spawn in, you get 3 rockets. I don't think you should be able to get more than 3 when you go to a depot. I think at the max, max is either 5 or 4. It's one of those 2. I think it may be 5 rockets total, but I think it needs to be set at just 3. That will take a tank down, I believe, to 60% of his health will be gone. And then of course you have to work with your teammates in order to finish off that tank, or go and hit it with C4, whichever one that may be. It will help the tanks out a lot, because right now they are really hurting. Tanks and vehicles in general are really hurting right now. Tanks are just a big piece of paper, and they die almost instantly. In fact, most of the time I did not see the tanks move past the back 2 flags. Very rarely did I ever see them move past the back 2 flags, just because they couldn't. They simply couldn't. If they tried to get aggressive, it was very easy. They just got instantly destroyed. So anyways, guys, that is going to be it for my video this time. Gameplay, guns, health, and ammo system. I hope you did enjoy it. I know I certainly did. And my God, 22 minutes long. We may break this up in a 2-parter. I don't know. You'll see, obviously, when the video comes out. But I hope you did enjoy the gameplay in the back. I hope you enjoyed the commentary as well. Let me know your thoughts down below, and we'll see you in the next video.